The Zephyrian hunting grounds stretched endlessly across the crimson plains of Keth-7, where the galaxy's most feared predators roamed freely. For 3 centuries, the Galactic Council had used this world as the ultimate test for their elite military academies. Only the strongest, most cunning species had ever survived the trials here. Cadet Marcus Chen crouched behind a cluster of crystalline formations, his standard-issue plasma rifle humming softly in his hands. Blood trickled from a gash on his forearm where a thorn scale had caught him earlier. The metallic scent hung heavy in the alien atmosphere, and he knew it would attract attention soon. The other cadets from various species had already fallen. The proud Valorian warriors, with their chitinous armor and 4 arms, had been the first to go, overconfident in their natural weapons. The telepathic Mindari had followed, their psychic abilities useless against creatures that operated on pure instinct. Even the technologically advanced Nexari, with their energy shields and quantum processors, had been overwhelmed by the raw savagery of Keth-7's fauna. Marcus was the last human in the trial, and according to galactic records, no human had ever passed the Keth-7 survival test. His species was considered too fragile, too slow, too weak. The other races whispered that humans were only good for menial labor and technical support roles. A low growl echoed across the plains. Marcus's blood ran cold as he recognized the sound, a devastator, the apex predator of Keth-7. Standing 12 feet tall with obsidian claws and scales that could deflect most energy weapons, devastators were the reason why even seasoned warriors feared this world. The creature emerged from behind a rock formation, its serpentine head swaying as it tasted the air. Its 6 eyes locked on to Marcus's position, and it began stalking forward with predatory grace. Each step shook the ground beneath its massive frame. Marcus steadied his breathing, a technique his grandfather had taught him during hunting trips back on Earth. The old man had always said that humans were persistence hunters. They didn't need to be the strongest or fastest, just the most determined. The devastator drew closer, its nostrils flaring as it caught the scent of blood. Marcus could see the intelligence in its eyes, the calculation of a creature that had never known defeat. It was sizing him up, preparing for what it assumed would be an easy kill. Then something unexpected happened. The devastator stopped mid-stride, its massive head tilting as it studied the human more carefully. It took another tentative sniff, and Marcus saw something he'd never witnessed in any of the training videos: uncertainty. The creature's eyes widened, and it took a step backward. Marcus realized what was happening. The devastator wasn't just smelling his blood, it was reading the chemical markers in his sweat, the pheromones that told the story of his species won. Humans weren't just persistence hunters, they were endurance killers who had chased mammoths across ice ages, who had survived every extinction event their planet had thrown at them. They were the species that had looked at every hostile environment and thought, "I can live here." The scent told of a creature that had clawed its way to the top of the food chain, not through strength, but through sheer, relentless determination. The devastator's predatory instincts warred with its survival instincts. It had never encountered a species whose very essence screamed, "I will outlast you, outlive you, and keep coming until one of us is dead." With a whimper that sounded almost like a plea, the 12-foot apex predator slowly lowered itself to the ground and rolled onto its back, exposing its vulnerable belly. It lay perfectly still, playing dead in the most literal sense. Marcus stared in disbelief. The most feared creature on Keth-7 was surrendering without a fight. Not because it was weak, but because it recognized something in him that every predator understood: the unmistakable scent of a species that simply refused to quit. He stood up slowly, keeping his rifle trained on the motionless devastator. As he walked past it toward the extraction point, he couldn't help but smile. Perhaps the galaxy was about to learn what humans had always known. Sometimes the most dangerous predator is the one that never stops hunting. The devastator remained motionless until long after the human had disappeared, only then daring to breathe again.